So we're back for another VGC guide, and this time we're looking at Sandy Shocks, with a very unique typing of electric round. Stunfisk doesn't exist. Therefore, this is the only user of electric round that there's going to be. It's fine. It's nothing to write home about. Like, it's good. It's not great or anything. It's good enough. So, yeah, it's pretty fast. 101 is a good speed. Outswing the base 100s, that's pretty significant. And a reasonable special attack stat as well. You ideally want the speed boost when you're going with this set because you want to be setting gravity. Gravity is the main reason to be running Sandy Shocks at this point, in my opinion. There's only been a couple in this format. Like Stone Dreadnought is fine, but if you want to go like fast gravity, you need to scarf it and then just scarf it into gravity. That's a bit awkward. Bronzong is pretty good at it, but that is a Trick Room version, so that you can get super slow grab notice and all that stuff. This is the fast version. Sandy Shocks is what you should use if you want to be going for the shenanigans with gravity, because then you get all your 100% accurate hypnosises, your very accurate 91% accurate sings, and all those sleep spam moves that you would love to go for in the gravity. So yeah, Sandy Shocks would be the Pokemon to go for that. So it's got max speed, so you can get the speed boost. That's the most amount of special attack you can have while still getting the speed boost, so you can do the most amount of damage possible, and then just a tiny bit of HP. Nothing special about the CV spread. Very basic. It was just outspeed, or get the speed boost, I should say. Thunderbolt and Earth Power it's good coverage. It's not perfect. Like, grass walls you, basically. So that's one of the downsides of running the Sandy Shocks, in the fact that you don't actually really get coverage into grass types. You can hit dragons, but Hydreigon walls you. So it's just, it's good coverage. It's just missing a tiny little bit. So you need to cover the weaknesses if you are going to be running Sandy Shocks. But the main reason to be running it, in my opinion, is to get the gravity. Especially with the booster energy, because then you're going to outspeed all the things that actually want to go Hypnosis. There's a lot of things in this format that are very fast and have Hypnosis, so outspeeding those and setting the gravity before they would attack with the Hypnosis is definitely worthwhile, so booster energy is the way to go if you're running the Sandy Shocks. Terra type should be electric, because you get rid of all your weaknesses except for one, while still getting an offensive boost, so it's worth it both offensively and defensively. So if you're running gravity, that's the main thing to use for Sandy Shocks. If not, then just go with this instead, something like this. Substitute is a perfectly reasonable move to have over that gravity if you don't need that for your team at all. Should mention that gravity helps Earth powers as well. Like, you can make use of it, not rather than just setting gravity for other things, clicking sweet moves. Like, Earth power is benefiting from it, so you can hit the flying types. So then disregard my comment about Hydreigon, actually, because you can hit that with Earth power now. But yeah, Substitute is quite a good move on these kind of like hard-hitting, fast Life Orb sets, because buying a free turn with the fact that you don't have Focus Sash is quite nice. I don't think this needs Focus Sash at all, because its bulk is fine. It will take most hits that aren't like strong, super effective ones. So you don't need Sash at all, but Substitute is going to be quite nice to be able to buy some turns. Life Orb, so you can do the most amount of damage possible. If you don't care about the speed boost, then just shift it to 4 and 2-4-4. But if you do want the speed boost, then it's still worth running less at special attack, so you can get that speed boost from Photosynthesis, if you're running it in the sun, of course, not from booster energy anymore. We'll also mention Terra Blast Ice. You don't really need defensiveness as a Terra type for this, so getting the extra coverage that Ice Terra Blast would give you would turn you into actual perfect coverage. Like Thunderbolt, Earth Power, and Terra Blast Ice would be perfect. Like, I can't think of anything. Like, if you can think of anything that is able to not be hit at least neutrally by all three of those moves, then put it in the comments. That'd be good to know. But yeah, this should be perfect coverage. So worth going for the offensive Terra in the Ice type, even though it's like the worst defensive Terra type. But that's not what you're going for if you're going with this set. Also worth mentioning that Choice Specs is going to be somewhat reasonable on Sandy Shocks as well. And outside of just going for 2/5/2s again on the Sandy Shocks, so you can get the most amount of damage possible while being fast, I've just made a bulky set in case people want to be using that instead. Especially because you get a special attack boost with this Sandy Shocks as well. And on top of the 190 and then the Choice Specs, and if you get a Photosynthesis as well, that will actually hit super hard. So yeah, this outspeeds Modest Golden Go. And a tiny bit more, because it also outspeeds things that outspeed Iron Bundle at +1, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, that is outspeeding. No, that was outspeeding Iron Bundle. If you want to go one more, then you need to go 139. But yeah, that's what the speed stat was. Doing so many of these EVs that mixing them up. But yes, 138 outspeeds Iron Bundle if they are -1. So if you Icy Win them or whatever, then you'll be able to outspeed them and Thunderbolt them first. So yeah, if you've got Choice Specs, you can afford 2 other moves. You can run Terra Blast Ice again, but Choice Specs Thunderbolt with Terra Electric and Photosynthesis is going to be the most damage you can do. Terra Ice is fine. Discharge, if you've got something to discharge next to. A little bit awkward that you are the ground type, so you can't discharge next to yourself. And then Volts, which is obviously good for pivoting. So yeah, Sandy Shocks is fine. I don't think it's necessary to build around Sandy Shocks unless you are going full on gravity mode. But otherwise, I think that this could be like a perfect 6th mon to solve some things on your team. And that's like the ideal thing for giving it a B ranking.